first thing, speaking of tomorrow, that I want to know is kind of how the day unfolds for you guys. For fans are going to be waking up excited. If they're watching Brightside with us, it's early in the morning. So what does the football day look like, game day look like for you guys?
Yeah, I think it's really exciting, especially given what we're coming off of. And I think one of the things that happened this weekend, watching these college games and all the fans in the stands, and just to think about Raymond James just rocking. And there's always it's fun in the morning of a game day. You wake up and you just have an anticipation. It could become a long day just because of it not starting till 8:20, but I think everyone just kind of wakes up excited. And there's just something about a game day. There's something about breakfast at a game day. There's something about just kind of waiting and then finally getting a chance to go over the ballpark and starting to get loose. So I think there's great anticipation. The players are extremely excited. I think it's been a long time since Raymond James will rock like it'll rock tomorrow night. And I think there's a ton of excitement. I think there will be a big impact I think they'll have an impact on the game. That last year was different. The college weekend last weekend just showed you how much the home crowd influences games. And I think that's not a small factor. So we need the place rocking. I think it'll be a big advantage for us. And I think it should be really fun. And I'm excited about the fans getting to see Tom play and the Bucs play. And just he's been here for a year, and last year was kind of unique, but a lot of people didn't get a chance to come out and see their home team play in person. So I do think that it's going to be all those things. And so it's really going to be a fun Thursday.
What for you, do you have any do you do anything every game day, or do you know if Tom does anything like a routine of any kind?
Everyone has their different routine. I love getting up and just taking a walk. I usually will walk around the stadium, and I usually get up and do my reading and just kind of sip my coffee and take my time. We don't have a ton of responsibilities. I love taking a walk out on the bay. I love taking a walk around our stadium and just kind of, even early in the morning, they're just hustling and bustling, getting that place ready. And it's fun for me to just pray. It's fun for me to just kind of think about what's going to take place in that stadium. It's fun to think about, hey, what's this year hold? There's always just surprises. You never know what it holds. And you just go in there and you play game after game after game, and you count them up at the end and see where you end up. So I think kind of the unknown, but just the anticipation is really cool.
Yeah, everybody's anticipating. Speaking of, because you guys do have a whole lot that is exciting going into this season, but pressure too, because you guys are the Super Bowl champs. You want to defend that title. Expectations are huge on you guys, which makes you have the target on your back. Not only Tom Brady, who's obviously lived with that for several years at this point, but Tampa Bay now is, the target team. Everybody wants to take you down. So there's the up and down side of that, right?
I think so. I think there's something about playing big games again. It's been, just the anticipation, and with it comes some big games. With the pressure comes some big games, and I think that's what you love about it. This season, we got a lot of primetime games starting tomorrow night. There'll be only one game on. The whole nation or world will be watching that thing, and it's fun. I think the players get geeked up for to play in big games, and so that you kind of work hard to get it back where these are going to be big games. Now we want to play well, and so yeah, I think there is some pressure that comes with it, but I think it's kind of exciting to the players to have that. It kind of puts you on edge. It kind of gives you an alertness and a sharpness that that we know how well we have to play, or we won't be in these big games. So I think it starts tomorrow night. I really do think it's kind of a fun pressure to have on you, and this is a unique team. I think everyone saw it last year that they just kind of just keep playing. They amaze me a little bit. We don't sink real low. There were plenty of times last year, start with opening day, where you could have, you really could have gone into the tank, and the team never went in the tank, and there were some big wins, and we never got too high. They just kind of keep playing, and training camp's been the same thing. Everyone just kind of came back, and you're worried about a hangover and this and that, and Brady is not going to let that's not even an option. That's not an option with Tom Brady. He's not going to let anyone get complacent or comfortable, and he's going to keep pushing, and this team just kind of keeps playing. It's really a fun bunch to be around. They just keep practicing. We've had a great camp. We've stayed healthy, which has been really nice and a blessing. And so guys have been at practice, and when guys are practicing, you get better. And so I really do think that it just feels like we're another team that's just going out to play 17 in a row and see what happens. So that's a great feel that as a coach, you want a team that doesn't go up and down. You just want a team that's steady and it just keeps improving and keeps practicing and keeps playing hard and keeps taking care of each other and watching each other's back. And it really has been that so far.
Yeah, the discipline that it brings. You talked last season because it was kind of a rocky road. Everybody was so excited to bring Tom Brady to the area, but it wasn't like win after win after win. There was a bump in the road, and then the team really gelled. And we heard the players say, I wish we had more games. When they got to the Super Bowl, it was like they were just peaking and hitting this stride, and it was like they wanted to keep playing. So do you think that's going to roll over into this season?
I really do. I think we're better now than we were at the end of the year. We haven't, we got a few preseason games, which we didn't have last year. I do think the other lesson from last year is you never know what's going to happen, so there's no guarantee. There's no guarantee either direction. And you just go play them, and no guarantee just because we won it last year that no one's going to lay down. It'll be a whole new year, a whole new set of circumstances and different things. So I think that's kind of the fun of this thing. That's kind of the fun of coaching, and it'll be some other people stepping up. It'll be some of the same guys doing it, but it always goes different than you kind of lay it out. I think we probably all thought, hey, Tom Brady's going to be the answer to all the questions last year, and it took all 20 weeks to get to that point, and maybe beyond. So it never happens quite as smoothly or as fast as you hope it does, but I think the anticipation's worth it. It's true. I do think we have a good football team. I do think we've had a good camp, and I'm really, really excited about tomorrow night and watching them play. I think it's going to be a fun night over there.
Now, we did not know last year, nobody would know that he was dealing with knee issues, that Brady had any kind of ailment. He looked incredible on the field most games. So he hid that very well. How's he doing right now heading into this new season?
Yeah, he's been amazing. He really's been amazing. 44 and just loves practice. If you were at practice yesterday, you would have seen a guy. You would have said, "This must be one of the young guys trying to make the team and get a jersey for the ball game." It's just the way he approaches things. He loves his job, which there's something about someone who loves their job. They're just fun to be around. He really enjoys what he does, and so he's bouncing around. He's healthy. I think he feels good, and I don't know that he ever felt just great last year. And I think he goes into the season really feeling healthy and fresh, and so I think we'll even see a better Tom Brady this year.
Now, he said night after the Super Bowl, he called you early in the morning and he was like, I think we can win again next year. He was already looking forward to that right after a win. Didn't even savor it more than a few hours. Is he still talking like that?
Yeah, I always tease. I think there's probably only 3 people in the country who thought we were going to win the Super Bowl last year at down points of the season. Him and Arians and Leftwich are they just got a swagger about them. They just always believe something good's going to come out of this thing. And I don't know if any of the rest of us, when you watch the film, thought that was going to happen, but those guys have a unique ability. He has a unique ability just to stay positive and just, and it's contagious. He just, hey, everything's going to work out. We just got to keep working. And it's amazing. I remember last year after opening day, we got smoked down at the Superdome against the Saints, and we were bad and he was bad. And most of it was my fault. We just couldn't get him ready. We didn't have him ready, and we didn't play very well. And remember him getting on the bus and just kind of going, yeah, we're going to be fine. I know exactly what I got to do. I know what we've got to do. And that's kind of how he approaches things. And I really do think that's, when you brought Tom Brady here, you did bring in a good thrower and a passer and all those things, but much more than that. You brought in a leadership, and you brought in a mentality, and you brought in a guy who just, has a contagiousness to him, a positiveness to him that's contagious, and it infects the whole team that you just believe. And then that goes a long way in this thing, because there's so many down times. There'll be some down times in this football game where you get in the huddle and all of a sudden you look in Tom Brady's eyes and go, okay, we're going to be okay. We're going to have a chance to win this thing. And it doesn't matter what the score is or what the circumstances look like. And that's one of the big things that he brings with him, along with being able to throw a football and do all the stuff that everyone sees. But there's so much more beyond that, and he really is amazing. So he's been a blast. He's a blast to work with, and he makes coming to work a lot of fun, because he comes bouncing out there ready to work every single day. And we try and get him to rest some and take some time. And I think he enjoys it. And he always says, why would I do that? I'm getting better. I'm getting better. And so there's, I really think his approach is spectacular.
So what do we watch for tomorrow night? Obviously, like you said, it's just going to be electric inside Ray J, but what do you want fans to pay attention to on the field?
Yeah, I hope it is a consistent product. I hope we take up where we left off. I hope that we play good, sound, must sound like a coach, but that we're careful with the football. There's not a bunch of penalties, that we got to discipline, that we don't let the emotions of the night get away from us. And all of a sudden there's, trying to do things that you don't need to do. We always talk a lot, just do your job and do what you do. And, you don't have to do something that we haven't done before just because it's a night game and you get caught up in the moment. And, it still is blocking, tackling, and throwing and catching, and just the stuff we do. Just let's do it well. And a lot of teams do get too caught up in the moment and the excitement of this thing and try and do things that maybe shouldn't try and do. Certain guys try to play a role that they're not supposed to play, or they try and take a gap that's really not their gap on defense, or so I think what you're looking for is just guys with some poise, and that just come out and just like last year, just go 60 minutes as hard as they can and see what happens at the end of it.
Who's his best weapon, do you think?
Ooh, that's a tough question. I think he loves his weapons. We have trouble. We don't have enough footballs, but we got a lot of weapons. Weapons isn't an issue. So I think that'll be dictated more by how Dallas plays it. And, like last year, who knows who it'll be tomorrow night. Is it Mike Evans? Is it Fournette running the football? Is it Gio on third down? I think hopefully it's all the above. Hopefully we're really a balanced, good team that, right. And then you get those wide receivers doubled, and the next thing you know, Gronk's hurting you down the middle, which we've seen multiple times already from last year. So I really do think we've got a lot of weapons. We're deep. It's hard to get them all on the field. And the guy who slips always under the radar is Chris Godwin. Just, all of a sudden, you're worried about all these other guys, and Chris Godwin slices you up for 100. So, I don't know who it'll be tomorrow night. And that's we use the term, you keep tunneling. You don't know when you're going to hit, you just keep running your routes. You don't know when your time's coming up, and there's an awful lot of guys who have a lot of talent out there. So Tom will do a good job distributing it around and being a point guard, so to speak, but that's a challenge to keep guys happy. But that's what I've talked to you about, and that's what I've talked to anyone who will listen. We have an unselfish team that you haven't seen a bunch of whining and crying, and I'm not getting the ball enough, or we're not running enough, we're not passing it enough. And that's pretty unique in this league at this time. There's an awful lot of prima donnas and divas, and we really don't have any. We have some superstars, but we don't have any divas. We don't have anyone that you see that coming out of, starting with our quarterback, starting with our head coach, and I think it just trickles down that, everyone knows their time will come, and, it may be tomorrow night, it may be week 3, but everyone's going to have their chance to make a big impression and make a big contribution. So that's one of the things we do have going. That's really good.
So I wanted you to fill in the blank here, that if we pull off back-to-back Super Bowl championship wins here in Tampa Bay, if we go back-to-back, it's going to be because of blank. Of why?
Probably just because Tampa Bay's hot, and the Lightning have put a lot of pressure on us. And I'm more worried about just winning one game Thursday night. But everyone keeps sending me pictures of our hockey team, and man, that was a bunch of fun. I was there when they clinched, and that was
wow.
I actually texted and sent a picture of them all celebrating. I said, this sure looks worth it. Hope we're willing to work that hard to make this happen in football again too, because it sure looks worth it. So, but that's a long ways away, and at the risk of sounding cliche-ish, let's see if we can win one game, and then we'll look up at the end of this thing and see what happens. But what the Lightning did was pretty darn special and extremely hard to do. I don't care how much talent you have, that is hard to do, and that's a worthwhile bar to chase. That's a worthwhile goal to chase.
Perfect. Lastly, are you going to be the chaplain again this year? I know you were. You're wearing a lot of hats there.
I'm going to have the title of chaplain. I don't know how much of a chaplain I am, but I have the title of a chaplain, and we're going to try and use a lot of the local pastors and priests around town, and we try and get some different people. It's gotten a little bit hard just because of the COVID thing. We haven't been able to be in person. And I don't know what this year will hold. It's constantly changing, but we certainly want to address the different needs way beyond the football field in the men's lives and in the families and as dads. And that's one of the fun challenges about my job, and just to get the right people and try and get people in front of these guys who've been down that road. And if all they have to show for their time in Tampa is just a ring and the rest falls apart, then that would be a great failure. That we really want to see them develop as men and as husbands and as fathers and community people. And that's extremely important to the whole building. And winning football games doesn't take a back seat in any way. It's what we're called to do, but certainly it's that plus. And so the chaplain job does give me a chance to have some small impact on who we bring in here. And but it's been more the local pastors and priests that have done a great job when they're coming in, just sharing with the guys and challenging them spiritually, and to go along with what the challenges that football brings.
Are they receptive to that? That's a big
Yeah,
role.
they really are. It's really, yes, they are. And at different levels and at different times. And, but for the most part, it's a humble bunch that wants to listen. And I do think that when if you have that mentality that you want to get better, and that carries over into the rest of your life also, that, don't just want to get better as a football player. I don't just want to get better as a coach. I want to get better as a dad. I want to get better as a husband. I want to get better as a grandfather for me now, and so that whole mentality that whatever we do, we want to do at a high level, and we want to keep working at it, and we want to be hungry and never sit back and say, boy, we've done something. And that's a constant, there's a constant improvement, a constant driving. And that's what I love about these guys. I do think a football player, these guys at this level, to achieve at this level, have got that strand, that gene in them that they want to improve. They want to be good at what they take on. And we sure want that to carry over off the field also, as well as on the field.
Yeah. Lastly, we've heard Brady say, he wants to stick around for a while, which at 44 years old in the NFL, playing the way that he does seems, how can you do that? If anybody can, it's him. But do you see him sticking around for years to come?
It's remarkable. If I after watching practice for the training camp, and if I boiled it yesterday, if I watch it, I'm more worried about if I can make it. He's probably got another 10 years in him. I'm more worried about myself and can I make it, because he's going strong. And it really is something. And I look all the time that very few quarterbacks have ever in the history of this league had a good year from 40 on. There's just been very little accomplished by 40-year-old quarterbacks. And so I think if you frame it and you really take a look, it's amazing. It really is amazing what he's done and what he's doing. And I think the Lord blessed him certainly with some durability and a body and some health, but also he does his part. He sure works at it. And but I've seen no sign of him aging, if you will, and slowing down in any way. In fact, for me, he's better. He's been better this year than last year. So, if anything, in my mind, he's improving. So I gotta try and keep up with him and make sure I can stay around for a few more years.
I'm not worried about you. The Benjamin Button of football, right?
It's amazing. Really is.
Perfect. Well, I'm so excited for you guys. Thank you so much for making time this morning. I know you are a busy guy.
Great to be with you. It's fun to talk about it. I'm excited.
I can tell you're amped. I'm amped for you.
Just like a fan. And gosh, I mean, you played the empty stadiums last year, and I just think it's great for the city. I think it's really fun for the city, and I think we got a good team, and I think that the town's geeked up and we're geeked up, and great way to kick it off on a Thursday night national television broadcast. And
against
I don't know
the Cowboys, no less.
I don't know how it gets any better than that. So I feel blessed and grateful just to be a part of it and be a tiny part of it, and to have the opportunity to do this it's beyond anything I could comprehend. And it really is a blast. I'm fired up for everybody on this.